Hey, it's Luke from LT Gaming, and today we're diving into the world of Carthage Bellum Punicum, and all the very exciting developments with this title. It's one I'm really looking forward to. This is one I've had my eye on ever since we made that first video, because on the surface it looks like a clean historical map-style wargame, inspired by the likes of History March, which is a YouTube channel, and it's really cool. But the more you look under the hood here, the more you realise there's a lot going on, and we're going to break it down today, so stick around. Today's video, like every LT Gaming video, is a little bit special, because the developer has kindly provided me with some exclusive footage to show off. I really appreciate that. He's really good to work with. I talked to him about the development of the game and he sends me exactly what I need. It's really appreciated, and it's good to see because I think he's super focused on the detail. So if you enjoy historical strategy, Punic War chaos, Hannibal doing Hannibal things, then do consider giving the video a like. It helps the channel, it feeds the algorithmic war elephant, and it lets me know you want more coverage of deep historical strategy games like this. So Carthage Bellum Punicum at its core is an upcoming historical strategy and wargame set during the Second Punic War, where you'll be able to command major powers like Carthage and Rome, manage campaigns across the ancient Mediterranean, and then resolve battles through real-time tactical engagements. Think an absolutely amazing grand strategy experience crossed with a wargame and being a little bit Total War. Let's jump into some of the recent developments and devlog information which really show this game off, and we've also got exclusive footage here, so stick around. Now the battles are where this game immediately starts to stand out, because this is not just a case of two ancient armies politely shuffling squares into each other until one side falls over. The developer is building a formation system where AI commanders select from a wide variety of battle formations, and those choices are shaped by culture, commander personality, and army composition. So Roman armies should not behave like Iberian armies, Gaulish forces should not approach battles like Carthaginian forces, and even commanders from the same broad culture can behave differently depending on whether they are cautious traditionalists or more innovative risk takers. What a really unique and refreshing dynamic. It's a really important detail, because one of the problems a lot of strategy games run into is that battles can start to feel predictable once you understand the basic AI logic. Here the goal seems to be that the enemy's identity actually matters. A Roman commander, for instance, might come at you with something like a layered triple line formation, while a more aggressive or unusual commander might lean into a spearhead, a crescent trap, reinforced flanks, or even a double envelopment style setup. This is all pretty cool stuff, because this is a period absolutely defined by battlefield shape, deception, maneuver, and the difference between a solid line and a catastrophic encirclement. Then we have the visual side and scale, which is where the new footage really comes in. By default, units are shown in that square History March inspired style, which I actually think works really well for this type of game, but it also adds a weapon display mode where units show their primary weapon icons, and an individual soldiers mode where units can be displayed as actual individual soldiers instead of a single square symbol. According to what the developer sent me, the game can support up to 200 units per army and up to 400,000 soldiers per battle, with the individual soldier rendering handled on the GPU. Now, in those sort of ancient battles you won't need that many soldiers, but for custom campaigns that would be absolutely insane. The scale of the battles really impressed me. It's going to be like playing a documentary, and for us wargamers that's going to be an absolute joy. Just a quick interlude to say most of you who watch the channel are not subscribed, so make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button, because it helps smaller channels like us grow really quickly, and both me and Tom really appreciate it. There's also some really interesting updates on the campaign side around scouting and visibility. They're going to treat information as an actual strategic resource rather than just revealing the map and calling it a day. The campaign map has two visibility systems. First, you have unexplored territory, shown almost like an ancient map with only land and water visible, but once your armies or scouts pass through an area, that old map layer disappears permanently and the detailed terrain is revealed. And on top of that, you have the actual fog of war, and this is where things get really interesting. Information is not simply on or off here. Areas close to your forces give you more current intelligence, while areas further away may only show older information. So you might receive a report about an enemy army, but by the time that report reaches you, that army may no longer be where you think it is. And that is such a good fit for ancient warfare, because so much of command in this period was not just about having the biggest army. It was about knowing where the enemy was, where they were going, and whether the information you had was still reliable. Another unique and absolutely brilliant system this game game is putting in place. On top of that, scouting then becomes a proper active system. You have automatic scouts operating around your army, giving you local information, but you can also manually send scouts towards specific targets like cities or enemy armies. If they target a city, they can attempt to infiltrate it and gather deeper information over time, potentially unlocking things like sabotage. It's the kind of system that's going to make the campaign layer feel much more alive, and we also got a brief look at the logistics system, which I should be showing you on screen right now. It's all adding to the incredible flavour and title and promising nature of this game, so we're pretty high on it. The unit recruitment system is another area where the game seems to be pushing for something much more unique than just clicking recruit unit. New soldiers and battlefield losses are refilled using manpower from nearby settlements that support your army. That means recruitment is tied directly to population, and if you pull too many men from the same area, you're not just filling your ranks, you're potentially damaging that settlement's population, economy and long-term growth. I really like that this game is balancing both the battlefield side and the campaign layer with some innovative mechanics. We've also had a pretty interesting look at equipment and unit design. Every army has its own storage of resources and gear, and new recruits are equipped from that supply. If your army lacks the right equipment, settlements with blacksmiths can produce and send it through caravans. Units are also defined by their equipment rather than fixed classes. So if you want to shift a unit from infantry to cavalry or into a different combat role, you can do that by changing their design. However, there is a knock-on effect of this. If your unit has spent years fighting with spears and shields, it's not suddenly going to become an elite cavalry unit. So the whole system seems to push you towards thinking about armies as evolving organizations, not disposable counters. You really have to care about your men. So with all these exciting updates and innovative systems, what does the future hold for Carthage Bellum Punicum? Honestly, I think this is one of those games that could really appeal to a very specific but very passionate audience. Okay, it's not going to be as cinematic as Total War, but I think there's a real appetite out there for a wargame / grand strategy title like this, with that scale and historical authenticity at the forefront. Plus, now that we're seeing these incredibly unique systems being added into the title, it's looking very innovative. I'm going to save the critical feedback possibly for a should you buy when this comes out, but I want to give you guys a flavour of what's been going on in development. Of course, like any of these titles, it could come off the rails, or we might end up with a really shabby early access. You know, we just don't want any more early access. It's driving me mad at this stage, but I'm quietly confident that this developer has a vision and he's going to deliver it. I just have to say right now that this title looks like one of the most promising indie war games out there, and there's a real appetite for that campaign and battle grand strategy mix. So yeah, this is firmly on my radar. I'm going to keep providing you with these update videos, and we will definitely review it when it comes out. What are your thoughts on this one? We always like your feedback in the comments, and you know, do all that YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. We know you do anyway, so we appreciate it. I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and I'll see you out there on the battlefield.